It's your friendly neighbor Chad the Maverick here with another video. I wanted to first and foremost thank everyone who has gotten a reading from me or has supported the channel by subscribing or hitting the like button or checking out my music or really just having and taking the time out to really check what I'm trying to do with this channel, with my artistry, with the spirituality that I'm trying to help represent and make more acceptable to the culture as a whole. Just all of that. I really just wanted to stop and thank everyone with that support because that means so much to me. If you're new to this, down in the description I have my website, which pretty much will pin you to just about everything. I have to update a couple music links, but it still brings you over to everything you need, so that's pretty awesome. So I pretty much today, matter of fact, before I start, just cause, right, I'm gonna pull a card. I don't always just pull cards, but I feel like with this energy right now, like we're all in like Mercury, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Aquarius, etc. Pulling a card before this would just give like a general overview and overtone about like what's behind, these energies and etc. So, got the Four of Swords. So just to break down what I think that means for this video upcoming, right? It definitely, so Uranus is in this time frame because it's in 28 degrees Aries, where it's going to be shifting the consciousness of everyone towards who their higher self or higher self identity is. At this point in the game of life, but like in this point in the game, people are starting to really comprehend and understand parts of what make them them, as far as even in ways that they may have not have previously comprehended. So I believe that rest card is definitely signifying that now is a time, as these energies are so high, and I'm sure people are feeling this through their bodies and just in general, but since all this consciousness and etc. is so high, it's a good time with this upcoming, whatever you need, is just make sure you take out that rest and allow yourself to reset towards these higher functionalities, because Uranus is going into Taurus very soon and it's going to be shifting a lot of things. But before I even say Uranus, I wanted to break down this whole video was meant to be for Uranus. That I recorded a whole other piece beforehand that ironically the microphone didn't work after I did a 20-minute video. So I was like, oh, all right. I was really saying probably way too much, to be 100% honest. I was just going at it. But I did want to break down Uranus maybe in a more simplified fashion, because they really did not let me finish that video. Like, I did the whole video, export, no audio. I had a whole new microphone on there that I just checked prior. So what can you do except for keep doing the do? Speaking of just doing the do, it's time to get to it. So when it comes to Uranus is knowledge at its purest form. It's the highest portion of consciousness. It is essentially what we view as the sky, right? So we view the sky and it's an over and all-encompassing layer that is above us from our perspective, which is the thing that ironically connects everything together. Anywhere that you go, if you go outside in the open, you will be underneath some kind of sky, right? So that's what Uranus essentially represents. It represents the higher consciousness and the higher wave of energy that chains together everything we think of and everything that we really hold to be true. Now, let me explain truth in this scenario when it comes to Uranus. So, truth as a lowercase t is how we view truth, right? We're like, for example, I'm over 6 feet tall. That is a true statement, right? But in the realms of like, these higher forms and these higher energies, they may not see me as, like, say, like over 6 feet tall, right? They're going to see me in terms of, oh, this is such and such representing Sagittarius energy, and because he's Jupiterian, he's taller than most, blah blah. It's a whole different realm of like esoteric knowledge and consciousness. And these things kind of play out on smaller levels and smaller degrees. I'll break some things down in later videos if they don't block out my audio when I make a video. But just to get back to it. So Uranus is essentially this abyss that leads you into higher consciousness, connection, and thought, right? People that have either been initiated energetically and or have ascended have done this through Uranus, because Uranus is the Great Awakener, right? It is when you understand Uranus, you start to comprehend that you're not a citizen of where you're from. You're a citizen of the world. You're a citizen of Earth. But like you don't see things as far as how it's labeled out to be anymore. You start to have a world view, a universal view. Not a world view, it's a universal view. World view is more Sagittarius, but a universal view as far as like these are the things that are universally true in all regards. But then again, Uranus is what ascends the truth. The illusion of truth. Because Uranus is the highest octave of what is known. Uranus represents what's known that we can't necessarily speak on all the time. It's like the few things where it's like, oh yeah, someone can say something to you and you're like, oh yeah, I know that. But it's not like you knew maybe on a conscious level, but it's like you knew, like your heart, your mind had been connected in this way where like your mind taught your heart how this plays out. And so it's like you know it because you feel it. And when you feel it, you're like, oh, I know this. It's kind of what Uranus is. It's really interesting because it'll awaken all the parts of, let's say, like your chakras and etc. It's I'm kind of happy I'm doing Uranus first as a planetary video, because this is kind of like, I feel like Uranus is the true educator in a lot of ways. So I'm gonna keep looking at. I'm gonna look back at the notes, circle into what I was going to say next, and then keep it going, because last time I said too much and it didn't let me finish. So anyway, Uranus is a planet that acts similar to an asteroid planet. So what I was saying is that depending on what sign your Uranus is in your natal chart, and if you don't know what your natal chart is, check out the website. I have natal chart services right now. They are $50 for a basic reading, and I will break down all of these planetary aspects and such in your chart. Definitely a cool thing. Or maybe you can get it for somebody for the upcoming Valentine's Day or something. Who knows? It's the idea. I don't know. But essentially, it holds similar to an asteroid. And Uranus kind of is what brings you and shows you what your star body is and who and what your higher self kind of represents. Uranus reveals this to you once you understand that what's true as far as what you've been taught isn't always 100% true, but the energy behind these things is more so what is accurate to things. Uranus is like the consciousness of the subconscious. If you pick up what I just said, you'll definitely get what I mean. Yeah, you become a citizen of the universe in comparison. Uh, oh, another thing. So Uranus is understands that nothing is either positive nor negative. They just understand that things can be rebelled upon and systems can change, right? Depending on which way it needs to. And when Uranus does create a change, it's a lightning strike effect. It's a it's a whole new thing. It's like a chemical reaction. Uranus is faster than like the quickest chemical reaction you've seen in like a science class. Like I'm trying to think of something. Like it's way quicker than like a Mento inside of a soda bottle. I'm such a sag for thinking that as the one thing. But the little bottle rockets or whatever. But it's that's how fast it is, and it changes. It changes and it shifts, and once it shifts the states and forms and substance, it becomes that new form of matter. Anyway, but like I hope you hear what I said. But essentially Uranus energy, this was represented by Aquarius, which was the kind of part of the detachment, because they can take themselves out of things that are negative or take themselves out of things that are perceived in a type of way, see it for what it really is and truly is coming from an objectional standpoint and from a consciousness standpoint, or not a consciousness. It's not consciousness the way we see consciousness. It's consciousness as far as like the thing that connects us all when we go to sleep. It's the sky that connects us. That's what I mean more so when it's like this type of consciousness. It's the sky that connects us all. And with that being said, when you get stuck within certain patterns and get caught within already been stationary, like Uranus, if you call towards Uranus, because unless it really hits your chart in a very particular way, I don't think like you kind of need to want to know more and learn what's past what's already known in order for that. A lot of people that are into astrology or in spiritual paths have had some type of Uranus like initiation, or have had some type of contact or event within their chart that has led them to this different form of consciousness that they had prior. So they stop worrying about what's happening in 3D, what's happening on the news, what's happening on that, and more so are understanding like this is what the collective is going through all across the world through these planetary bodies that are already set up. This is the science of the universe. Uranus, science. Uranus is the reason why we have phones. If it wasn't for Uranus coming through and changing in a lightning quick strike, the events of us like sending mail out and etc. and just updating these things with new type of structured revolution, that's what it represents. Anyway, so I'm just gonna close this. Uranus and Aries is what's going on right now. It is 28 degrees, 29 degrees, which is why a lot of people on a collective scale. This is like my time, for example, where I'm like, I'm ready to show myself and really. The last time when I first found the awakening for myself in whatever degree that is, I don't know how to really fully explain it, but if you know, you know. It's one of those things where Uranus was in the same degree, like I want to say like a year and a half ago, where I gained this. I've studied up and I'm now confident in speaking on it, but this is the type of knowledge that I switched from. Because prior to that, it was definitely I had a different form of how I even try to present myself or etc. And then Uranus and Aries, I found my connection to the stars. Trust your lucky stars. It's kind of where that comes from. Like the Uranus and Aries, because it's like you aren't just that you are meant to become that star for you. Not like a star as far as like everyone is a star. Like shouts out to Dolo, because Dolo explained this really great. But every person is a star body. Everything is a star body, right? Dolo the pilot man. If you don't know Archangel Uriel, Dolo the pilot man, you need to fix your life. Much love, but you need the people. But anyway, so essentially Uranus is kind of bringing out this identity. It's bringing out everyone's higher identity in this last degrees of Uranus. So it's like everyone's going to start playing out exactly who and what they are in this process, which is interesting, which is getting ready for Uranus and Taurus, where all of these things beforehand. So under this big sky that we have and we all are connected to conscious wise, we're now going to be taking and making a new and having lightning strikes when it comes to our values, when it comes to how we gain money, our financial things. Like money is definitely going to come in, but you can't get money in the same way that people have always said this is how you get money. Like the internet, for example, internet money is the new wave of Uranus and Taurus. If your job might really start paying you through PayPal or something, like they might be like, yo, because all these banks are X, Y, and Z, we're going to change this and make banking completely online or completely through this. Like they may start paying people through that. If that ends up happening, come back to this video and like let me know, because that's just a guess, you know. So Uranus and Taurus is going to shift how we view security, especially like low-key relationship security with the people that you may be or have like as your significant other. You're gonna start to see like the definition of a lot of relationship paradigms, I feel like, are going to start to change, because people are going to see like, is this person really securing me, and am I really holding value, or is this person holding value for me? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be really interesting. But just to like reiterate and go back before I really bamble off, that was just to like give you an idea of like what type of things Uranus affects directly. Like for Uranus and Aries, it affects and brings out a higher identity, and for Uranus and Taurus, is going to affect and bring out our higher sense of value as a consciousness stream. So it's going to be everywhere. You know what I mean? Everyone right now is being shown for what they are. So like that's why in the news, everyone's getting called out for whatever crap they might have done. Also, some people are lying, because people are coming out like, oh, we have lied about X, Y, and Z, but that is part of maybe their higher purpose in a strange way enough. But that's what Uranus is like bringing out. It's like this awakening, this like, it's bringing this new conscious. It's not new consciousness. It's just like the fifth dimension. We've shifted from 3D. We shifted from 3D like a little bit last year ago. We've been in the fourth dimension for a while as a whole collective. But, you know, some people are clinging on. We know that because of how technology is affecting us and how we're all connected on a technological level. That is a different dimensional space that we are consistently like tied to. We're consistently tied to it. We're consistently on our cell phones. This is Uranus. Uranus creates the new sky to be under. So the best way to put it is that if you want to have like this awakening through Uranus or through these energies, just pay attention to where that is. Pay attention to where that is in your chart. Ask me, as a matter of fact, I will gladly try to break it down to you best I can for what your chart is worth, or not what your chart's worth. You're worth gold, more than gold. Everyone's chart is the most beautiful art, architecture, science, energy. Everything is in your chart. Oh man. Anyway, before I go on a whole like escapade about how much I love charts, even though Uranus also technically is the ruler of astrology, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Neptune hosts the energy of astrology, but Uranus is the science behind why astrology works. So yeah, that's my Uranus video. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, this has been Chad the Maverick, your friendly neighbor. Check out the website below in the description, and seeing you again soon. Have a good one.